everybody, this is something I haven't done in absolutely forever, which is to make a video, and this is not gonna be something that I do very often, at least these kind of videos, because we are effectively talking about occult practices and religion, and while I do have a playlist for it, it wasn't a playlist that I would utilize all that often, because my audience of my channel is mostly gaming oriented. My health took a really big hit at the end of 2021. That's why you haven't seen me in over a month, and you haven't really seen a video that wasn't just a compilation of pictures for 3 weeks. I thought that maybe I was gonna recover. I think I won't. I did a video a day in December pretty much because I was concerned about Vampire Jam, and I streamed and I wanted to get in a lot of streaming during my holidays, which was something that wasn't meant to be, and my health turned for the worse to a point where I can't really feel my legs anymore. Like, I can still walk. I have the sensation of pressure. I don't have any other sensations. And I have a great suspicion that it's my heart, because eating became very, very difficult as well with... If you eat food, you need blood to digest food. One thing that I realized, and when your body is trying to digest food with a bad heart, you end up sapping all possible energy or ability to do absolutely anything out of yourself, if not outright feeling like you're suffocating. So it has been a very bumpy month. I have dropped my regular employment by half, so now I do half hours, which did help. But I kept on hoping that, hey, maybe I'm gonna improve and just gonna continue as it was. But no, I don't think that is happening. So it is what it is. My faith was mainly what was keeping me together for the past month, and this video is related to faith. I feel like I should give a bit of a background as to why I am doing this as my first return video, let's just say like that. Once again, it's not something that's gonna be... Videos ain't gonna be common on this channel, folks, sorry. Murta bit dying is the best way that I can put it. And it's not the death that really scares me, because I do believe in afterlife, and atheists will be like, but what if you're wrong and you're worm food? And it's like, well, then I am gonna be a very happy dead worm food person, because I will die fully believing that there's something else there, and if there isn't, then I'm just dead. Like, that's just not gonna... it's not gonna do anything to me. That has been a bit of a tangent. Anyway, yeah, my fear isn't so much that I will end up dead in the next couple of years if my health will continue taking hits like that. My fear is of just how much hits like that can I continue to survive. Because if I am just gonna become completely bedridden but then live for 3 decades, the question of life quality really, really comes into consideration, even though my husband was trying to console me of going, oh, don't worry, if you get any worse, we can get you a bed set up. We can, like, get you nice and comfy, and I'm gonna, like, set up your computer and everything, and it's a morbid thought, and it's a thought that I had to have. The reason why I'm gonna be doing a video on this video, it's not really a video, it's a slideshow with some commentary, is because while my health was really down, one thing that I was doing was being quite active in occult-based Reddits, and I'm also writing an occult book, which I hope to actually be able to finish and release, and if nobody ever sees it, that is completely fine, but with my last breath, I will be able to cross it off the bucket list of, hey, I wrote a book, because that bucket list, by the way, fairly short right now, as travel's definitely not a thing that I'm ever doing in my life now. I'm just Give me rocks, give me books, give me a very peaceful existence, and let's just hope for no more significant health hits so that I can stay at this level position, because if I fall anywhere from this level position, I don't know how much I can fall and still be alive and still extract some joy from life, I think is where I am getting at. Anyway, this guy dropped a massive topic, and the reason why I'm investigating this video is I have bad feelings about it. At one point he said that he had altars set up for serial killers and psychopaths. Then he said that he is hate and that he hates absolutely everything, and that he can't believe that he hasn't been hospitalized in a mental health institution for a significant amount of time. He was outright admitting that he is actually a danger to his friends and family, and that is of utmost concern to me. And I was trying to have a conversation with the person, and he outright blocked me, and then he disappeared off Reddit and made a video on YouTube. He had this idea that demonolatry was a worship of evil spirits, which it's not. Demonolatry, well, it translates as worship of demons, but the way that you should take it as really an expansion on paganism. Because the entities that fall under demonolatry was just really, really random pagan deities that Abrahamic faiths have decided are demons and threw them into this mishmash of a category that now represents absolutely everything from the Goethian demons to any bad spirit to a negative the word carries a lot. It's word that honestly infuriates me that we have it, because as with a lot of descriptions when it comes to more spiritual matters, you end up so many tacked on to one word that it's very hard to decipher what the word is actually supposed to represent. So if I am saying the word demon, I mean the mishmash, pagan, adhescent entity bowl. Let's call it that, because my brain doesn't work right now. Pantheon, there we go, that was the word that I was looking for. Pantheon, that speaks to some people that have some negative connotation to them sometimes, but it's mostly exactly like pagan gods, because paganism is also not a thing, it's just a mishmash of every possible pantheon in existence worship that isn't an Abrahamic religion, pretty much. So, you know, if you're following only Hades or only Morgan, you're still gonna identify yourself as pagan, and demonolatrists would gladly identify themselves as pagans, except that pagans see us as wrong, so they would gladly exclude us, hence why we ended up with this really, really weird category. If it helps, I don't mind if I sound like a crazy lady in this video, because this is a crazy lady that doesn't have... feels like she doesn't have that much time left. Honestly, I could have a lot of time left with just life that is of a very, very bad quality. I don't know that. I hope not. Rather, I don't hope to die. I hope that I'm not gonna have decades upon decades of really bad life quality, is what I'm trying to get at. This lady follows Lucifer. Lucifer, Venus, the morning star, and his planet is also associated with Aphrodite. If there's actually quite a lot of faces directly underneath the Venus planet, if you wanna look into pantheons in that way. And from my experiences, being a Luciferian is feeling some amount of peace I can't describe the energy as anything but cold and peaceful. And my worship tends to entail sitting down on my floor every single day and having a prayer conversation. And I feel like I am getting answers, and the freakiest times is when you express your worry and you get told, you feel like you get told because it's a thought. You can't prove that it's not your own thought. It might be your own thought. You might be talking to yourself, but honestly, who gives a shit? It makes me feel better, so there we go. Don't worry, I'll take care of this, and the next day you wake up and your problem is gone. And that is the most affirming thing that you can have, where problems just solve themselves the day after you talked about them. Otherwise, I will just sit and have a conversation, and I will express that I have a lot of anxiety or anger or upset, and I feel like I am given an extra perspective, or sometimes that emotion is just completely lifted off my shoulders. That's what I get out of it. So I can just sit down to have a prayer conversation and express how much anxiety I'm feeling, and come out of it feeling no anxiety whatsoever. That's what I practice, and the only reason why I am at the entity that I'm at is because I didn't get such results or feelings with any others that I tried, including Abrahamic gods. Outright God convinced me that gods are not a thing, because that was just like screaming into the void. Nothing answered. This is the first entity where I feel like I have been answered in that way, and once again, people will be like, oh, it's in your mind, and yada yada. Doesn't matter if I get emotional relief out of it. That is my stance, and that is my view, and that is probably why my spirituality played such a pivotal focus point in the way that I have been recently. Mostly because it's hard not to get depressed when your health starts completely failing, even if you knew that your health might fail. It's hard to keep upbeat or to find something good or happy, and I had to express this to somebody else because I run into a lot of atheists. Like, look, if I could remove my pain by hopping on one leg around the tree at 3 p.m., I would do it. This is the equivalent. I found something that lifts my emotional heaviness and sometimes physical pain, and I'm good with it. And it hasn't been negative in any way, shape, or form, despite the Christian connotations that it is. I literally made a 13-minute intro, but hey, now you know what's going on with my life. Let's jump in here. Up until this point, the dude rambled, and I have his video on fast forward because, well, I can't stand to actually sit and listen to 27 minutes of this, so I'd rather listen to 2/3 of that.
Catholic or whatever, even though I'm not. The thing I don't understand modern demonolatry, because number one, you don't worship the demons as evil. I mean, I can kind of okay, so it's like to worship the demons as a good being. I can kind of understand why y'all do that, because it's like, you see God as the bad guy, and you go and you role reverse it. So like you see the good as bad and the bad as good. Like
I don't do that. I don't see Christian God as bad. I see Christian God, or any Abrahamic God, as all. And people have this very hard time understanding the all. The all is all. It is in the word. It is the all. Why would I hate the all? To explain the all is to... The food is the all, but so is the famine. The fire is the all, but so is the cold. your family burning inside the fire is also part of the all. Ashes are the all, and so are the rain, and so are the herbs, and so is the smiles, and so is the happiness, and so is the anger. Every emotion, every color, every being, everything is part of the all. When you roll everything into a single deity and you say that there is one God, first of all, I am amazed that you managed to find connection with that, because I couldn't, but some people legitimately can. Some people legitimately feel the calling to these religions, and I believe that they experience similar level of peace that I do. So I do understand that you can't define the all as bad or good. It is everything. It is the bad and the good. It is the sunshine and it is destruction. Entities that embody less are easier to relate. And sometimes it's still very hard to relate, because effectively, from my understanding, what you're talking about is a being of energy that is not one face and not one personality and not just one person in one place at one time. But when you take an entity that is not a single Abrahamic God of all, they will encompass a tinier concept. And the concept, no matter what it is bad and the good. Some very destructive concepts, for example, Lilith is outright a very, very destructive concept. People that work with Lilith use the destruction in order to deconstruct themselves and overcome their negative behaviors. There is a lot of destruction that you can use in fairly positive manners, because in order to rebuild, you have to destroy what is there and what is not working. Love can be a wonderful emotion, but it also can be a wonderfully destructive emotion. So you can't just say, oh, a being in charge of love is all positive. You can't say that a being in charge of destruction is all negative. Just the same as take a river. A river can demolish a whole village, but a river can also sustain you and give you fish and give you something to drink. A river can be shat on and poisoned, but it's still just a river. It's still just a force, and as a force, it's neither bad nor good. We're applying really weird moral judgments onto something that can't have a moral judgment applied to it. That would be my understanding, and my experience with my entity has been nothing but positive, because I find strength of will in it. I find it easier for me to align myself with a place in which I am much happier, meaning I do tarot reads now. I used to be a software engineer. I let myself enjoy the books that I want to read. I have a collection of rocks, okay? And this would be, hell, I dress the way that I want to, and nobody can tell me what to do with my life. And because I've embraced such a high willpower attitude of nobody can tell me what to do with my life, I ended up living my life the way that I wanted to live my life, which in turn have made me happier. And it's not, you can't say that it's an evil way of life, because the way that I wanted to live my life is a tiny bit on the crazy side, but it hurts nobody. That's the thing. It hurts absolutely nobody, myself included. I found peace. I found emotional balance. Yeah, I can't I can't declare a being like that to be bad, even though I can't declare a being like that to be good too, because once again, can you give moral judgment to a force of nature? No, you can't. So why are you trying to apply it to entities?
See God as bad, and the demons as good, Satan as good, whatever. Like, that kind of makes sense, so I can kind of understand that. But then there's people that claim to, like, I'm not hating on anything. I'm not telling you how to... sorry, I threw something. Sorry if you heard that. I'm not telling you how to practice, but there's people on the internet that are claiming to work with demons and angels. Now, how the hell is that supposed to work? I mean, I'm not trying to, like... I mean, if that's what you... I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is possible. Because here's the thing with me. Okay, the only thing...
Angels are not defined by being good. Demons are not defined by being bad. They're just a different type of entity. You can work with demons and jinn. You can work with jinn and angels. You can work with demons and angels. You can work with deities, and any configuration possible is possible. You know why? Because we're really shit at definitions. We don't know what we're defining, yet we assign words to it. Just say entity. You can't see the other side, so just say entity. It matters not of what type. It's just an entity. If it's helpful to you, work with it. If it brings you peace, work with it. If you think that two entities wouldn't mind sharing an altar, go for it. There's no problem. There is the only people that have problem are the people that do have hang-ups from Abrahamic faiths that have declared one side to be good and the other to be bad, despite the fact that one side was all and the other side was just the side that rebelled against the all, and they kind of dragged names that really didn't belong there, like Lucifer, because they just took him out of a different religion. Or how we see Satan as an entity, and in my opinion, somebody did choose to wear the name Satan, so if you do pray to Satan, something might actually answer, but it was just a title meaning the opposer. The other person in an argument, so it was just the person that opposed their god. If you have an argument with somebody, the opposer would be Satan from your point of view. It's really weird. We took titles and we decided the titles were names, and Bible is all sorts of messed up in that way, and then you have people that I suppose have really internalized one side as evil and the other side as good, and they have decided that they have aligning themselves with evil, even though really what they're doing is they're just having issues that they refuse to work through, and I am really worried about their mental health.
Thing that I base my ideas on is near-death experiences. Okay, I don't base my idea on God, on the Bible. I base it off of near-death experiences. I'm convinced in a spiritualistic, vague God. I'm convinced that God exists. Heaven, like I believe in a God of light. I don't worship this God. I'm a dystheist and a misotheist. I'm mostly a misotheist because because dystheism means you don't believe that God's all good. It could be possible that God is all good. He's just not all powerful. That's why I'm more of a misotheist.
If you have one God, then that God is all. It's not good or bad. I have already covered this, but depending on your religion, your near-death experience will vary. In my opinion, all gods are true, and they don't contradict each other. Because, hey, you worship the God of all. There's this tiny little island in here for you. And this other island will be for a person worshipping Ra, and Thoth, and Hades, and Lilith, and whatever else. I don't think that there is an issue with lack of space outside the physical. I think it is a pretty endless space, and if you want to claim a domain, you know how to do it, and you know how to run it, and you can power it. I think that you can actually do it, which is why some people go for self-deification. But hey, if this doesn't track with your religious beliefs, that is perfectly fine. I am not about to oppose your religious beliefs. This is just my own personal religious beliefs. I don't think that we need to argue which ones are right and which ones are wrong, because I don't think that we can know.
Because it's possible that dystheism is wrong. Like, it's possible that dystheism is like it's possible that God is all good, but just not all powerful. That's why I emphasize that I'm mostly a misotheist, which is the dislike of God, basically, in a nice nutshell. I don't want to get off topic about that, but I just believe in a God of light. It kind of sounds like you can't convert to Zoroastrianism, and I don't 100% agree with it, but it's kind of like that. It's basically like Christianity without Christ. It's basically like I believe in basically Zoroastrianism, basically, but I can't convert to it. You're not allowed to. It's basically spiritualism. I'm a spiritualist, I guess, but I'm negative towards spirits. Not all spirits, but basically what I'm trying to get at is that modern demonolatry does not, like, demon worship. It doesn't make any sense. Again, it kind of makes sense that you're worshiping the demons as the good guys, but like I don't understand how you can walk with angels and demons. I don't understand that, because I think I'm open to the possibility of anything for the afterlife. Like, maybe we get reincarnated and none of this shit matters, right? Like, working with angels and demons, maybe it doesn't fucking matter at all, because everyone gets reincarnated. But in case reincarnation is not a thing, or in case only some people get reincarnated, basically what I'm trying to fucking get at is that, what I'm trying to get at is, let's just say that there is a God of light, and an afterlife of light. Let's just say hypothetically there is. And for the Dark Souls, for the people, not the video game, for the people that chose a bad, like, all the criminals and all of that bad stuff, people like the bullies, the criminals, I don't believe in a fire hell, but I do believe in a void. I believe in a darkness. I mean, I've never used spirit boxes, so maybe I'm a little bit of a, I don't know what the right word is. I never communicated with ghosts or anything, but I know I shouldn't be trusting people. I know I shouldn't be trusting other people. But just watching it on YouTube, and I know I'm going to say, dude, YouTube videos could be fake. It could be fake. Like, I understand videos can be fake, but I watch people like I think his name's Huff Paranormal or whatever. Like, I watch him with his spirit boxes. There's two kinds of spirit boxes. There's the one where you record and you play it back, and then there's the professional, like, actual box where it sounds so realistic. You know what I mean? Like, he had like this. Like, he does. I like the one where he uses the box because it just sounds really realistic compared to the little handheld little thing. The little handheld thing. It's okay. Like, I never tried it myself, but it's not as realistic as that box thing that he uses. I don't know what it is, a spirit box or whatever. It could be fake. Like, all that could be fake. But what if it's real? Because I'm watching videos like that and I'm hearing shit like, "There's the angels." Like, I'm with angels, and then you get some guy saying shit like, "I'm in darkness." Like, you get Huff Paranormal or whatever his name is. He's like interviewing like people in in heaven or even in space, mostly in heaven or whatever. And then he started a new series of like interviewing like I'm not gonna bring up bad people. I'm not gonna give them. I'm not gonna acknowledge those people. But he started like a new series or whatever, communicating with dark spirits, and they say that they're in darkness. So like obviously, like if this shit is real, obviously there's a place of good and a place of bad. I'm not basing this off the Bible or anything. I'm basing this off of like near-death experiences, spirit boxes. Even though I never had a near-death experience, and even though I never used a spirit box or a Ouija board or anything, so maybe I'm just basing my ideas off of fake videos and fake claims and fake whatever. Because I never went through it myself. I never almost died. I don't own a spirit box. I don't even know where to get one. I never used a Ouija board or whatever. So maybe I'm just putting too much faith in other people's claims. But if what these people are saying is true, if what they're saying is true, then Zoroastrianism, Christianity, or whatever, kind of sounds like the truth almost. Not exactly, but it's just modern. I'm not trying to hate on modern demonology.
It is very weird for me to have somebody ramble on about ultimate good and ultimate bad when that's just not a thing. If you want to go by the Bible, hell was where there wasn't the love of God, which would be everywhere outside of the Christian heaven or their particular deity, which is fine. If you went with Odin, I don't think that you were expecting the Christian god to love you. That would be really, really weird and kinda creepy. So it is just one side. If you want to ask my opinion, if you believe that you deserve to be in hell, and if you imagine hell to be of a torturous place, when you die, you will fall into a torturous place, and it won't be specific individuals torturing you, it will be your own mind torturing you. Same way if you died with mentality that was very much self-destructive and you had things you haven't worked through. I don't want to use the S word, but the S word is, in my spirituality, a bad solution. Because most people that are picking the S word are not picking the S word because they're in great pain or in great suffering. They pick it because of mental inability of seeing a way forward from their problems, that is to do with a lot of emotional pain that brings them. This will sound mean because it is my spirituality and I can't change the way that I think, but if you die carrying all that great pain, you will continue feeling all that great pain until, like your own therapist that you're able to process it and come out the other side. And if you don't process it and come out the other side, you will be stuck in that continuous mental prison. And that is the worst kind of hell that you can imagine, because that is a lot worse than a pit of fire. If you died after having committed many crimes, then chances are you're gonna be feeling deep guilt. I do have an extra layer to that, which is how extremely destructive emotions and behavior towards others with the intent of extreme control can literally tear you apart. So if you ask me, by the time a psychopath dies, they don't have much of anything remaining of them, and therefore there is no afterlife for them to go to. They're just energy that dissipates. I can't prove my viewpoint, but still, this is the kind of viewpoint that I carry. And honestly, if you're gonna have a religious viewpoint, I suggest making your own, going with what resonates with you. And this is not just not take it seriously, this is simply using your own experiences to decide what is the right worldview for you. And in no way should you ever enforce this onto another person, but we all have something. We all have some sort of thoughts about what is and isn't that can't be proven. And it's better to have a strong belief in what is and isn't that you carry in your heart than it is to be flip-floppy all over the place with no strong beliefs in any direction, but always wondering what if. What if's kind of... it's hard to explain, but it can actually stop you from moving forward with absolutely anything because you doubt every single step of yours. So at some point, just start walking instead of standing there doubting yourself. What if that rock is a chair? I am really off script now. I don't have a script to begin with. It is 4 a.m. and I have a bad heart. So I'm, once again, if I sound crazy today, I sound crazy today. Welcome to Myrta in this particular time in her life. And hopefully will continue for a while, but with a lot less misery. I would like that. I'm not editing his speech out, so here's a video on 2.0 speed. Enjoy listening to it with me.
Again, just to make it feel better, I kind of tapped into it back in the day. Nowadays, I consider myself I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole label. I'm labelless. I go beyond labels. But if you want to know what I do spiritually, basically, I don't really have a spiritual life. I mean, sometimes I dabble and stuff like that. Sometimes, and yeah, I guess you could label me. I mean, I don't identify as a dabbler. Like, I don't identify as a dabbler, but I guess you could say that I'm a dabbler. I guess a more nice way to put it is...
Actually, this is a good way of describing what doubt sounds like. The person just said that they're not one for labels, yet they can't describe themselves and they don't know what their belief system is, which I imagine is a pretty sad way of living. When I was a Christian, as a child, I knew that I was a Christian. When I was an atheist, I knew that I was an atheist. And when I had my own personal confirming experiences and started working with Lucifer, I was like, fuck it, I am gonna loudly identify as a Luciferian. It's not something that I'm gonna tell my family, it's not something that I'm gonna tell outside, but it is something that I'm not gonna hide on the internet. It's pretty easy. That label just comes very easily, I don't need to overthink it.
I'm not a dabbler, I'm just kind of like a chaos magician. That's a little bit more of a nicer title, because I don't want to be labeled an edgy dabbler. I don't want to be just label me a chaos magician. Makes more sense. Or label me eclectic or unconventional or whatever, I don't even know.
I also want to ask what is up with selfies. I can't. If you don't have a camera, do visuals that are either related or don't do visuals at all. I can't imagine a single video where I just be like, it makes no sense to have that visual on the screen. Honestly, you could do with seeing a bit less of me, but screw it, I haven't used this setup for over a month. I would like to use it sometimes.
But anyways, it's just modern demonolatry. It makes no sense. Again, you can worship demons as the good guys all you want, but the angels and demons thing, like working with both of them, you can't go to the light and the darkness at the same time. It's like you're gonna end up like, as a spiritualistic person, like in my honest opinion, I think the people that work with the angels and the demons, they're gonna end up trapped on Earth. They're gonna end up in the spirit world, or they're gonna get reincarnated. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Or I don't even know.
It's fair to have your opinion, but in my opinion, they will go with whoever is their main entity, or they will go back to the wheel of reincarnation, which most people will do. Most people live again. I once again can't prove this, but I tried. I tried some previous life regression meditations, and I've extracted Latvian sentences from them, which I cannot explain, for I do not speak Latvian. That I then was able to use Google Translate and translate to English because, hey, Lithuanian is close to Latvian, but not identical. The words don't match. And I just had Latvian sentences. So going by that, at some point, I was a nun in a convent in Latvia, and apparently I was very, very, very unhappy with that life choice. That is all that I have, and it's not like I have like this long spanning thing. I have like 10 seconds of it. That's what I have, but it's not something that I've seen in a movie. It's not something that I read from a book. It's something that looked very much like reality, and it had a language that I do not speak. So I can't prove reincarnation to anyone else, but I have convinced myself, so there is that. And that is all you can do with your own personal belief systems. Be convinced yourself in it and use it in some way to improve yourself in the current life. Once again, I use my belief system to give me self-assurance and drive and peace and emotional joy and happiness whenever I can access it, as well as dumping off physical pain when medications don't work. This is not me saying, screw doctors. No. Don't screw modern medicine. Whatever you do, don't screw modern medicine. That is like your tool number one. But when you go through all the tools in your toolbox, if you arrived at spiritualism at the last tool and it actually worked, fuck it. No matter it's placebo or not, just do whatever's helping. If it is eating a pickle a day that is keeping the doctor away, then do that.
So I guess this is kind of like a podcast. Sorry for not showing my face. I've done these videos before. I've done audio only. I mostly use my good mic, but I'm using the bad mic because I don't feel like getting a good mic out, and it doesn't really fucking matter. I'll give you that like lo-fi quality, only YouTube quality. You know what I mean? Only camera.
I only have one mic. It's not ideal.
Because demon worship is so rare. I'm probably gonna get like 600 dislikes and like 12 likes. I don't really care. I'm not trying to hate or anything. Maybe I'm just messed up. I mean, I don't identify as schizophrenic. I don't hear voices. Or
you have 5 views.
Obviously, I don't want this to be a mental health thing, but obviously I have some kind of thought disorder because I am confused. I don't know what to call myself spiritually. Because I really don't, because I do admit, even though I'm not Abrahamic, even though I'm not like a Christian or anything, I do still hold on to that reverse Christian thinking, I guess, or that Zoroastrian thinking, I guess, or the duotheistic thinking, I guess.
That's what people
it just makes sense.
trying to tell you.
To be honest, modern demonolatry, it just, like, no offense, but it just sounds like dark paganism, which isn't really like a thing, but like, it just, a lot of the people in this religion, again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, it sounds very paganish, which doesn't really make any sense.
It is
paganism.
paganism.
You believe in different beings, that makes sense, but I don't know, I'm convinced in a one God thing. I think God is like, probably like the universe or something. Oh, I don't know, see, I don't know. It's just, if the dual aspect, if that is truly a spiritual thing, then the people that work with angels and demons, that's not going to work out. You can't have your cake.
It's not a dual aspect. Everything is shades of gray. Yin-yang symbol is not meant to represent purely dark or purely black. It is more meant to represent coffee with milk. which is that everything is mixed up and everything feeds into each other, and you can't have one without the other, and you have a bit of both inside a bit of both. It's very cyclical. It's not all good one side, all bad the other. We established some really dumbass dualities as people, if you ask me, and this is the all bad, all good argument. Honestly, I've been reading all books. It's been a whole bunch of old, mostly romance novels, because I've decided that reading the romance novels from like 1920s is what I'm gonna do now, and I was happy with it, so don't judge. But they're overlaying themes and topics and things that people pondered kinda a lot like this, except that they managed to ponder it deeper. Probably because they had more times to sit down and have a good ponder, which we don't anymore. But yeah, and if you're convinced that there is one God and that the God is the universe, then the God is everything, you included, for you are part of the universe. Therefore, you wouldn't expect the universe to have opinions or judgments or a very preset moral code. So once again, it's very... If God was the universe, pass moral judgment on the universe right now. Is the universe good or bad? I would say it's neither. Or both. Whichever you prefer. But that's the point I'm trying to make.
You need it to. That's if the spiritual is actually like that though. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the spiritual is neutral. I mean, I watched the near-death experience video, and there was this guy, like that was a documentary or whatever. He said in the video, you know, it really doesn't matter what you believe in, because there's a lot of people where they're like Hindu, Christian, even atheist, and they still go to the light. So I think at the end of the day, maybe the afterlife is neutral. Maybe I do need it, because I mean, I think I've like in the past I thought God was like good, and then I thought he was like evil, and I thought Satan was like evil, and then I thought he was good. Now I'm starting to think that like I am starting to believe that every being, like every human, everything that exists, I'm starting to believe that everyone and everything has yin and yang. It's just, it depends on how much you got of it. Like I think God has more bad than good. And I think demons, demons are kind of...
I don't know. If I was trying to personify the all, I would now need to write an AI script to parse what we consider positive and what we consider negative. The gut feeling from me is that we're gonna have about half and half, but I can't prove it. So somebody, please start parsing the dictionary and passing moral judgment on words, for this is the most categorization that we have done. I can't call it good, I can't call it evil. If you ask me what the walking into the light is just walking off this plane. See it as a portal.
kind of vary. They're kind of a mix. I can't say they're mostly good. I can't say they're mostly bad. Demons are kind of just like, it's kind of like with humans. Demons are kind of like humans, that they're kind of just whatever. There's no statistics on who's like, I don't know. So I think demons, they're just kind of like, there's some that are more bad than good, and vice versa. There may be some that are totally evil. There may be some that are totally good. I don't even know. All I know is that I don't stand, like, no offense, I don't stand with angels. I don't stand with God. Like, no offense to demon worshippers or cult, whatever you are, pagan, whatever, anyone, any theist that's listening, any theistic person that's listening. I don't vibe with God. I don't vibe with...
I don't give a shit what you vibe with. Honestly, I don't vibe with plenty of gods. Why would I take offense to this statement? That being said, if you wanted me to categorize demons, I am gonna firmly categorize them as all chaotic neutral. Not evil nor good. Active. You kinda... Which way they're active depends on your ability to hook up on the entity and of what you request. Like, there is one person that got very, very scared about dreams that he was having about Pazuzu because he wanted to have life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And dreams were essentially showing him being dead. and he got very, very frightened. He said that his wishes were coming true, and as everybody else had to point out, that was just a warning of you gonna do a lot of drugs, you're gonna end up dying early. That is just the outcome of your actions. You decided to do all of that, you decided to sleep around, you decided to get a whole bunch of STDs. You wanted life on the fast lane. You requested for life on the fast lane. Life on the fast lane started manifesting with like one singular dream of, by the way, won't end good. And the whole comment section had to be like, well, what do you expect? And he was like, well, I expected for a very happy and active decade and then to die. And everybody was like, well, then why are you frightened by that dream? Because it seems like you were heading directly into that direction. That is precisely what you asked for. So if you want to do self-destruction and you have a good connection to the spiritual, apparently the answer, depending on who you call, might be alrighty then. You want this? Have at it. Your life. Do your thing. Self-destruct. Die early. Why does it matter to us? So it's not a being that will sit there and lecture you and try to talk you out of things that you have already decided doing. It's a being that will be like, whatever, I ain't you, this isn't my life, do whatever you want. And I accidentally adopted that mindset with a couple of crazy people that ended up in my DMs. And they called me crazy, but if you're gonna run in circles in my DMs, I will just strongly encourage you to do what you wanna do. Like this one guy was going on a conspiracy theory about how they are controlling us through the fillings in your teeth, and how he wants to remove the fillings, but no dentist will do it. And I was like, alright, just get a file and start filing your teeth. Wouldn't it hurt? Well, of course it will hurt, but that is what you want. If you want to do it with less pain, just get pliers and pull your teeth out. And he was like, wow, lady, you're pretty crazy. It's like, no, you're the one that is sitting there talking about drudging on and on and on about how you want to do this very, very self-destructive act that frankly I see as a really bad judgment. But if you're gonna just stay there stuck on that act for years and just talk about how you feel controlled through your teeth, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you just remove your teeth? It's not another person, it's your teeth. You do with them whatever you want, and if you happen to want to remove perfectly good teeth, that is your right to remove perfectly good teeth. Why are you whining in my DMs at me? And I have kind of feeling that if demons were to be personified, that is slightly their attitude. So I get that. I get chaotic neutral, I guess. I honestly get that.
The angels, I don't want to walk with them. You know, if you're a Christian, you know, if you're a pagan, I'm sorry if you're offended, but I'm a misotheist. That's just how I feel. I don't even want to say the H-A-T-E word. I don't even want to say that. I refrain from saying that in my videos because it's that the H word is really powerful. Like I can say it off camera, but I don't like saying it in audio format because it might hurt people or you know, like I don't know, you know what I mean. But it's just I just don't like God. I don't like angels or God. If you do, that's fine. I mean, there's even demonolators that worship demons and God, like specifically God of the Bible. And I went on a demonolator subreddit, and I literally saw people preaching, not demon preaching, like of God, and that got like upvotes, like of the God of like so. And I was just sitting there, no offense, but I was just sitting there, and I'm like, how can demonolators upvote a guy or a person? Like you're on a demon worship forum, you're on a demon worship website, and then like I saw two people preaching about God and angels and Jesus, and some of that got upvotes, and I said, how does that get upvotes on a demon worship?
I don't understand what he saw, but that is not the case. There are Christians that run into the demonolatry subreddit on Reddit from time to preach the Bible, which just doesn't turn out very well because they do not understand of, hey, I found peace with this really niche being that goes by the name that you do not like. And I found no such thing from your god. Therefore, I am not following your god. I am following this very niche being with a name that you do not like. This doesn't make me a bad person. This doesn't actually say that much about me at all. I like rocks and I like books. Those are my hobbies. I'm quite harmless. It's kind of like how when people go on and on about how death metal people are so dangerous and spooky, and you meet them in real life and they're the softest, cuddliest bears that you can imagine that go out and save kittens or collect stuffed plush toys. It's that sort of thing. Just because you view our religion as negative doesn't mean that it is. And before somebody goes, oh, but this kind of niche church and all, I'm not associated with the church. My only association with the word is the entity that I work with. I honestly had a really interesting conversation with at least one Christian, because at one point they were like, oh, honey, it's not Lucifer that you're hitting, it's the Christian God. And it was so funny for me, because that would mean that in order to reach the Christian God, you don't do the Christian prayers, you don't read the Bible, you don't go to church, you don't do their religious rituals. You very specifically do a path working to Lucifer. And I don't start praying and talking until I feel as if an entity is in the room with me, despite the fact that it sounds weird and strange and crazy. And the feeling that you get from Lucifer, I can only explain it as the air turns cold. Even if you have the heating on, even if it's the warmest summer's day, the air turns cold directly around you. It's like sitting in one giant cold spot that dissipates after you finish the ritual. And the air also kind of feels electrified. Like, it would be if you were in a very excited room, or a room that has like a live wire running through it. It's that kind of feeling. So it's cold and electrified. So if I can reach your God through a path working to Lucifer, and your God feels cold and electrified, I think you have a problem, and I don't. I think the problem would be on your side, not on mine. Especially with how your God feels, and the fact that he only answers to the name Lucifer. But there are Christians that run in and do those kind of talks. You might also be confused with the talks that I was having with him, and others were having with him, because he made posts that sounded like he has ingested the Christian Kool-Aid, accepted their way of thinking, and then decided to hate God, for it is the God of all good. But there is a lot of bad stuff that happens in the world, and a lot of people were like, first of all, snap out of the Christian thinking. You are effectively in a pagan forum. We're not here sacrificing babies, you know? We're not trying to rebel against God, the creator. We are just working with the entities that we personally connect with. And I was trying to drive home to him that if you believe in a single God that encompasses the all, he even compares God to the universe, then it can't be a God that's all good or a God that is evil. It is literally everything, you included. In a sentence where God is all, you are also God. The same as the table that I am sitting in front, the monitor on my screen, the floor, everything would be God, because it is the God of all. when the God is the universe, it encompasses everything. Everything. And at one point, this guy said, I hate everything then. Because once again, he was just throwing the word hate around. And I said that I don't think that he knows what he's saying. I don't think that he can feel that much hate. Or he would be hating absolutely everything that he likes about his life. He would be hating the evil spirits that he likes to work with. He would be hating the psychopaths that he's worshipping. He would be hating children. He would be hating the murderer murdering a child, the child being murdered, the murdering happening, the policeman arresting the murderer. It's impossible to explain because you would be hating every frequency, every emotion, every action, every happening, every person, everything. All is all. And to state I hate all just sounds like a toddler stating to their mom of, I hate you, mom, because their mother didn't let them have one piece of candy. Child doesn't mean it. They can't comprehend the actual word hate. They can't comprehend that emotion. The same way that if you make a statement like, I hate the all, I don't think that you do. I honestly don't think that that is possible. There is too much that goes into the whole, and that would make you a very, very comical person if you actually manage to sincerely hate everything. Like, absolutely everything. And at that point, I'm really confused about how you're still alive. Because honestly, that level of hate, that would express itself in self-hate, that would express in hating anything touching you, that would express in hating all the sound, that would express in hating all the visuals. I imagine it would be a very irritable life that would be bringing you a lot of suffering. So I have a feeling that what you're talking about is less people preaching to you that God is good and more about stating that if your God is all, then your God is all, and it is impossible to hate or to love the all because it is all.
Subreddit or whatever, like, no offense, I mean, if you're a Christian and a demon worshiper, that's fine. I don't get contradiction. I'm not gonna harass you or anything to change, or, it's just, and I find it kind of funny that people think that I'm being offensive by judging their... What's wrong with challenging other people's thinking? What is wrong with that? Isn't that what the adversary is supposed to do? So I think we should just stop being offended, and I'm trying to have a debate. I'm not insulting. I am swearing, but not like... I have said some I have swore in this video, but not like in a mean. I just naturally swear. But I'm not insulting or anything. I don't know. It's just what's wrong with challenging people's beliefs? What's wrong with asking questions? See, I'm trying, despite the F-bombs and stuff like that, I'm trying to understand the contradiction. I don't understand the contradiction with this belief system. Again, I've worshipped demons in the past. I've worshipped many gods in the past. I worship Jesus, God, whatever, Yahweh, whatever, Osiris, whatever. I worship basically everyone. And I'm kind of just fed up with every spiritual... I don't know. I'm just fed up with the spiritual. Well, maybe not totally, because I've gotten some answers from some deities, and some of them have helped me, but I don't consider myself anything specific. I don't know. Like, I don't hate the spiritual totally. I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, because some of them have helped me, but, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Sorry for clicking. I mean, if you mean angels as in... Maybe people are using the word angel in a different way. Like, if you mean angels as in, like, angel, if you mean angels as, like, your grandma passed away, like good spirits, like, if by angel you mean good spirits, then like your grandma...
I can't explain to you what a demon or an angel is. I can't. I think that they're slightly different, because they feel different, but I'm not on the other side. I don't have magic eyes. All I can say is I feel the room vibe, and I can't explain to you the differences between a weird ass deciding to put labels on things from room vibes. It's impossible. It's like trying to judge what is the meaning and the difference between the species of strawberry ice cream and lemon ice cream without being able to smell, see, or taste it. It's that. It's hard. So I'm not gonna. I just call entities entities. God is an entity, demon is an entity, an angel is an entity, a jinn is an entity. If they don't exist on this side, and they're spiritual, but you can feel them, they're probably an entity.
Grandma, whatever passed away, then I can understand that, right? Like, okay, it's like you worship an evil spirit and a good spirit, like that makes sense. Because the evil spirit doesn't necessarily have to, like you could literally worship a sociopath or a psychopath who passed away. I don't know why the fuck you would want to do that, but let's just say hypothetically you worship some psycho that passed away, and then you worship your dead grandma. That makes sense because those two beings are not connected at all. I mean, they could, but let's just say that they're not. That makes sense because they're not connected at all, right? But if you mean angel and demon as in like actual like non-human spirits,
angels and demons are also not connected at all, considering that our grab bag for demon ended up being whatever we threw in there, whatever our Abrahamic faith did not like. You just kind of chucked it into the demon pile. So effectively what you're doing is you're fishing out some niche pagan gods back out when you look into the demon pile. It's in no way connected to the angel pile, which honestly doesn't play that much of a role in the Bible either. It's... Enochian, I have heard, is something that is hard to master as an occult direction just for how little you're gonna go off it. There's very little that you have to go off in that direction if you want to deepen in that direction. And I don't understand worshipping of sociopaths and psychopaths. I honestly don't, because you at one point, our darling, maybe you were trying to goad people into challenging their views or whatever, but it honestly came off as what the fuck. I understand ancestor worship, that is something that people do, but when you say I worship as a psychopath, it comes off to me as those like teenage girls that get too infatuated with like serial killers and then send them like letters and have walls with their picture. There's something wrong there when that happens, and lucky few of them might be able to meet those people because maybe they come out of jail and maybe they're still alive, and then they end up practically always being the victim 300. Maybe they go, hey, if I align with this honestly, frankly, horrible human being, because I am also a horrible human being, maybe we can commit atrocities together. And it's like, no, the atrocities just end up happening to you. It's weird. Maybe don't worship mass murderers.
And you're worshiping both? That makes no sense, because it's like, it's basically like aliens. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's like you're a Jedi and a Sith at the same time. It's like, it makes no sense. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I do need to drop the good versus evil thing, but...
Yeah, you do need to drop the good versus evil thing. We had a whole topic about this, trying to tell you just that.
It's just, don't get me wrong, okay, so it's like, the only angel I worked with was Lucifer. I don't even believe Lucifer even exists anymore. I see a lot of people believe that Lucifer in the demonolatry community, they believe that he exists. I don't believe he exists. I think he's just an archetype. I don't believe, okay, so I don't know if it's gonna be about me, but, like, I used to be theistic Satanist and demon worship. Like, I used to be Catholic, then theistic Satanist, demon worshiper. Mostly theistic Satanist then. But then I kind of just gave up on Satan, and I said, Ahriman, Abraham, you, and the Devas, the demons, whatever, they exist, right? Now it's kind of like I don't even believe in a head demon anymore. Like, I don't even believe in a master or demon anymore, like a head honcho, whatever, like a king demon. I don't even believe in that. I think just demons exist. Like, there's no dude named the devil. Like, there's just demons exist, right? And I believe that demons are not fallen angels. I don't believe demons are not fallen angels. Demons are not old gods. I am convinced demons are just angry or evil spirits.
Well, then you never worked with a demon, then, considering that you have admitted in the topic when I asked what the fuck you have done, because this person got scared of what happens if I stop worshipping demons, and it's like, well, depends how deep you went, bruh. Probably nothing. Depends what you were doing. And then he disclosed that he made 2 separate pacts with Satan. But not Satan the title, Satan the opposer. That would be just a title, and I have no idea who's using the title, but I am convinced that there is an entity that is currently using the name Satan, no matter how that came along. he didn't just say Satan, he said two different versions of the devil. And now the devil is that grab bag that is really meaningless. For it is a grab bag of an evil spirit. It is the same grab bag as demon, effectively. Except it's a bit more specific, but it's like standing up and saying, I worship human, and I made a deal with two separate human. Okay, specify which ones. You know, human. No, I don't know human, and I don't know what you did. How did you manage to do it? So no, I don't believe that you ever felt or worked with Lucifer. That's very, very specific. Very, very specific. Heck, even whoever is currently wearing the title The Opposer is fairly specific for people that work with him seriously, and some people also mix him up with Samael. I know one person that considers Satan to be Samael and works with Samael, and their descriptions of their version of Satan are very, very different to the descriptions of other people that work with Satan. Satan, they chalk it up to them being new and trying to be popular and go with the wave and adapting the more media portrayal of Satan. But the issue is that those demonolatrists, their portrayal of Satan still doesn't align with the media portrayal of Satan. So I honestly just think that one side is contacting a being named Samael and the other side is contacting whoever took up the name Satan. And considering the vague title of Satan, some people consider Lucifer and Satan to be the same entity, and I find that to be quite impossible, because 2 years ago I did do an invocation with Satan and honestly felt really rejuvenated and energized, and he felt really, really warm. It is the opposite of air turns cold, it's air turns hot! So you can use Martha's ponderings in the middle of the night after making a 1-hour video on a topic that nobody wants to listen to. You can use Satan as a heater. There you go. Great spiritual experience there. Good going, me. Just, I don't know, what would an entity reaction be to being summoned to be a live heater for you because you're cold? Maybe they would organize your life so that somebody would gift you an actual heater, just so that you stop summoning an entity up to get a bit warmer, you know, but two very different feeling entities for me. I know that there are people that disagree, but if we also pick up Samael into the mix, there's now 3 very different entities that have fairly different traits.
I'm convinced. I'm like the psychopath that died, the sociopath, the narcissist. That is the demon. I believe that. Like, I'm not gonna name drop anyone specific. I don't want this to get controversial, but and no one takes this position. You look up what a demon is. This definition doesn't pop up, but it makes a lot of sense. I have to keep my voice down. I apologize. I probably should end this soon. But this definition of a demon makes a lot of sense. Same thing with angel. Angel is what? A good spirit, a human that passed on and became spirit. It just makes sense. I don't believe that demons and angels are like some other like thing. And even if they are, I don't know. It's like, whatever. I don't know. It's just modern demonolatry. No offense, it makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, traditional evilism makes sense.
Traditional evilism doesn't make sense to me. Mostly because what you're describing here is the weird-ass human grab bag that became the word demon, because demon stands for evil spirit. Also, once again, stands for every single pagan deity that a very specific religion didn't like. Some beings from other religions that are more destruction-oriented. Once again, Lilith is a force of destruction. There are forces of destruction, and people that work with forces of destruction, they don't go up and shoot up a building, they use that force of destruction in order to destroy what no longer sits right in their life. Destruction has a lot of positive connotations. It's about the cycle of self-cleaning. It's a cycle of freeing. Working with a being that is known for destruction can do a lot of good for you, because it's not black and white. So you now have a word that has names that are mostly niche pagan entities that got thrown in there. The same word stands for evil spirit. The same word stands for destructive elements from other religions. The same word stands for negative emotions. There is just so much that we're covering with one word that as a word, it is entirely meaningless. So, of course, when you come into a demonolatry forum, which mostly is inhabited by people working with a named entity, and the named entity is most likely gonna be from a previously pagan religion that just got vilified by the Abrahamic faith, because the Abrahamic faith really would have liked for other religions to stop believing in their shit so that their religion can dominate. Of course, when you're gonna come in, what you're gonna see is a whole bunch of pagans, just under a different name, because pagans didn't want us, so it's just paganism plus. We're just paganism plus, for the most part.
And even like I said, even if you don't worship evil beings, even if you don't, it just makes no sense to worship the devil and God, or worship demons and God. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I'm probably gonna end this. Please don't send hate. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't think that anyone was worshipping the devil and God, because honestly, if you are in a very Abrahamic faith, you will most likely be sticking with the one God of all. If you're a pagan, you can be a polytheist, which allows you to pull from all the bags, so nothing stops you from worshipping Aphrodite and Lucifer side by side. That is fine. It's fine, because polytheism is accepted. People take patrons, people take matrons, sometimes people take like 3 to 5 entities that they work on the side, and like an extra entity for like an extra issue that they're dealing with. Some people invoke specific energy currents when they're trying to process something. It is completely fine. Whatever mystical being here has taken an Abrahamic faith that says you will have no God but me, and act on an extra divine, no matter it's infernal divine or not, or however you want to categorize it, is a person that is doing some oath-breaking level shit there, and they might actually identify as a warlock. Or the word warlock stands for oathbreaker, and is seen quite negatively in most witchcraft-based communities, because most times it means that you have done something bad and you're proud of it, but I suppose chip-chopping an Abrahamic faith and adding something extra onto it would count as breaking your oath to the Abrahamic faith, but you still believe in both and still follow both. And at that point, I honestly don't know where you go when you die, because both sides probably be like, yep, we're a bit confused about what you were trying to do here. Would you like to try again? But anyways, thank you for this very long ramble. I don't know how often I will make videos. I don't intend to make videos on these kind of topics, because I know that people ain't interested in them. Who wants to hear me ramble for an hour straight? I don't know if that person do you, but it just so happens that I can't do much else right now, and I haven't made a video for a month, so it felt fitting. So sorry for having rambled on, and see you whenever the next time will be.